Hey guys, alrighty, so we finally got some good trading today. Today was a really smooth day of trading. Opening hour was still a little rough, some indecisiveness, some long wicks, and just kind of some goofy movements. But outside of that, if you were patient and you played some bigger moves, some super great movement here today. Feels better of a day trading just because of that. So just have Tesla show up here up on the screen here real quick. You can see after hours it had a nice sell off. Down about 4.5% right now after earnings. I do generally expect Tesla to potentially test the 165 area. That's kind of a big target I have on the daily here. So, we kind of got some goofiness going on today, and I'm going to update the chart as we go on. So, we broke through our channel here, but we also broke through this channel here. So it's kind of, it's just a weird day, a hard day to get a good read about where we go. So we did get a new supply today right here at 385.01. Now, the thing about this supply is, as you can see, we put a supply in, but we closed just barely over it. So that's imbalanced. So essentially, when you put a new supply in, you generally speaking want to close under that level. You don't want to close over it. So to rebalance, we either need to, one, close below 484.9, or two, pop high enough tomorrow that we actually put a new demand in. Now, I do think it's incredibly possible we could continue this bull run up and we could put that new demand in. But after 5 green days in a row and quite a bit of movement from a technical standpoint in a bearish aspect, I am looking for a drop tomorrow. So basically, I'm going to look for about a daily 8 EMA test. Projected wise, we should be right about here, right about 482 to maybe 482.4. We're going to have a little bit of support to watch at 484, but I do think we could get down here as low as in the 482s tomorrow. Going over to futures here, same thing. We pushed through all our channels that we were trying to kind of use to predict where we could go. But we have this massive doji candle. Now, on Monday, I thought this doji candle was pretty bearish, and I was, for the most part, looking for a downside move, but you saw the bulls pushed it up. So today, though, to make this even more bearish, we got a daily double top and a new supply at 49.01. So from here, this really, 49.01 is super strong resistance. So very likely we could see a downside move tomorrow. And again, our target will be 48.66 area, which is the 8 EMA support. Likely right around this 48.80 area, we will come into some other support and potential bounces before we potentially get down that low if we do sell off tomorrow. Going over to the Qs, same thing. Our projected channels, that's just how it is sometimes. They just did not work out for us. But here we go again. So we got another supply here also. So this one's interesting. So yesterday we had the daily double top, which again could have been a potential reversal, but I saw that hammer candle and that was a big old breakout as we were looking for. One interesting thing about this is a really nice abandoned baby pattern. So essentially, if we gap down tomorrow and we leave this candle up there by itself, this is a strong topping candle. It's a pretty rare pattern to actually play out, but when it does play out, it is very bearish and it usually results in a pretty big drop. So again, we're imbalanced here, so we need to close back under either 423.49 or bounce to the upside tomorrow and turn this into demand. Now, in the off chance that we do bounce to the upside, and again, we ignore the bearish technicals, we ignore the fact that Tesla missed on earnings, we ignore the VIX, we ignore the 10-year and the dollar, and we pump up again tomorrow, this turning into demand right here would be extremely bullish, and that likely would set off a massive pop on the Qs. However, looking at this here though too, my target really is the 8 EMA. The 8 EMA should project to be somewhere right around 421.1 to probably 422.3. I think that's a good target area. I do think we're going to come down and likely close under 423.49 tomorrow. Going over to NQ, same thing. Channels just did not work out. It's just the part of projecting, and you never know when they're going to push through or not. So same thing here. We got an in-balance close. We closed over 17,554, which is our supply we put in. So now again, same thing here. We had this massive doji reversal potential candle on Monday that obviously popped up on Tuesday. So same thing. We have another potential reversal candle to the downside here, where we could form a nice double top and drop, or same thing, we hold and we pop up. Key support to watch is definitely going to be 17,554. If we break through that level, likely we are going to come all the way down here to probably right about 17,453 or about daily 8 EMA support. Now, again, I don't like the VIX as much anymore, but this was too good of a pattern and too good of a historical pattern to not talk about it. So if you look here, we now have 1, 2, 3 double bottoms off of 12.43 demand. We also put in a new demand at 12.52 today. Now, this happened on the 11th and the 28th. Let's look at SPY and see what happened on the 11th and the 28th. Here's the 11th. Here's the 28th. So you can see from high to low, we had about 5 days of selling and we dropped about 2.4%. From here, from high to low, over 3 days, we had about a 1.8% drop. So roughly, we should be looking at about a 2% drop over about 3 to 5 days. Now, something else that is super interesting here is both these times touch the 20 EMA support. So likely here, if we come low enough, so from our high, again, it's from the high, 2% down is right here. That puts us, so 1, 2, 3 days, that's roughly where, if you project this 8 EMA just going straight up, that is, or 20 EMA, sorry, that is roughly a 20 EMA support bounce. So there's a very high probability, I would say, going into FOMOC that we are going to get a big 2% drop. Now again, I think FOMOC will be the determining factor about where we go next. I do think there's a high probability that Jay Powell is going to come back out and be hawkish again. I think it was a big mistake, and I've talked about this before. I think it was a huge mistake for him to be dovish at last FOMOC. I think he really dropped the ball. I think that was a huge mistake. But, you know, we'll be interested to see what he says. We're not going to get a dot plot, but we should get an update about what the Fed's kind of thinking and stuff. But I don't really see a world where Jay Powell is going to say, yeah, we are going to cut rates. You know, I think he's going to talk about this inflation spike, and, you know, they are not forward looking. So remember, just because inflation for next month already says it's supposed to come down doesn't mean that the Fed looks at that. So now, big thing I'm looking at here is the dollar. So you saw me move up that channel. So basically what we had is we had a consolidation move here, and then we kind of broke out. We're consolidating right now. We actually attempted to break down, had a massive bounce off of the 20 EMA support and the 50 EMA support here. Or this is the 100 EMA support here. And now it looks like we could, which also matches the pattern on SPY and NQ again, we could get a big pop to the upside here on the dollar. Now, it'll be interesting to see if that plays out or not, but for the most part, we're still seeing resistance at the 100 or 200 EMA right here, this 103.7 area. So realistically, if the dollar can close over 103.54, I would call it, we'd likely get a breakout to this 104 area. If we close under 102. I would even go we'll go up to 103.2 again, but really probably under 103 in general. Likely we drop down back to this 102.3 to 102.4 area. Now, same thing here, looking at the 10-year. So, you know, big pop to the upside here. Nice, really big old bull channel here. You know, we're holding 200 EMA support. we actually had a huge move on the 10-year today. So it had about a 2% from low a day to high a day move. You know, we bounced off 200 EMA. We came all the way back up to our 50 EMA right here. We can't quite get through it though. So, but if you look here, we came down and we're holding 8 EMA support. And this looks like a breakout of the pattern. And we should see hopefully the 10-year break out, and that will break down markets tomorrow. So I'm looking for 4.237 to 4.26% on the 10-year. And again, I think realistically, I think we're set up, and you can kind of see it playing out here after hours, this massive evening doji star pattern where we're going to drop. You know, it's kind of starting to play out here on NQ2. I think at least we get down to 17,557 minimally, but I ideally think we're going to get down much lower than that. So we'll see what the market brings overnight, but I am pretty bearish going into tomorrow.